3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Skylr from Prizmiq. We create interactive 3D product experiences for e-commerce. I'm not in sales, so that's about as salesy as I'm going to get. Instead, I'm going to talk about my story and why I joined this team up here in Seattle. 14 years ago, I had my first experience using 3D objects to tell a story. A group of us at U of O decided to edit mashups together of cartoons set to music. We needed a logo, so we turned to pirating some software in the form of a Maya, which was at the time retailing for like $15,000. I got into stealing software and doing 3D graphics at about the same time. I was hooked. Not on the stealing, but just being able to control and explore a 3D space that I was creating and being able to interact with other people creating 3D things. This is a really powerful tool. I ended up turning my passion for creating these objects into a job working on movies at Leica Studios in Oregon. I worked on the movies Paranorman, Coraline, and Box Trolls, which just came out. Yeah, it was great, fun stuff. We often worked off of like clay maquettes like this guy. So this is a character from Paranorman. Somebody actually went in and digitally duplicated a clay maquette that then became an asset that went into the movie. He spent hours and hours doing it. It's a total pain. That's why we don't do this anymore. So we started to get into 3D scanning technology because it's a lot quicker and more efficient to basically take images or laser data from an actual maquette and turn it into a 3D model. So this was kind of our first stab at doing that kind of stuff. We basically started to solve the problem of 3D modeling by looking at a problem rather than an artistic expression. This was something that we created that was basically taking a bunch of images of an animator animating and turning it and bringing it into a 3D package. I began to wonder else what we could do with this technology. I thought back to my experience creating a story and telling it with the mashups, and I went ahead and started my own company doing 3D scanning. I reached out in the scanning community and kind of looked for areas where this was going to be useful. And I started to create data capture systems for those objects. I ended up meeting up with the Prizmiq team here in Seattle. And yeah, I'm a part of Prizmiq now. Sorry about that. So this is a great example of sort of where we're going with this stuff. These are internet fishing, basically, internet fishes. And it's basically all 3D models that are rendered in 3JS and in WebGL. Let's see. So this is what we get when we basically put 3JS, WebGL, and 3D scanning together. Basically an immersive product that's basically rendered in a browser. These are the types of browsers that support this WebGL technology. It's basically, since as of September, iOS and Safari support this completely. I think our only holdout is Opera. I don't know how many of you guys use Opera. Anybody? So, all right. What makes an object feel real? What makes it engaging? What metrics can we use to describe how a person interacts with a product virtually? This is my story, this is Prizmiq, and these are the problems we're solving. So if you're a JS developer or into 3D, VR, or e-commerce, let me know, let's talk about it. I'm a much better speaker one-on-one. All right, thank you guys. Questions? Exactly. A 3D asset that gets rendered online and integrated into their e-commerce site. Exactly, yeah. So the idea is to be able to track how a user is interacting with their product, right? So our clients come to us and they're like, hey, we want to know what somebody's looking at when they click buy. or what part of our product are people looking at the most? Go ahead. Yeah, it's you know, in terms of the engagement that we're keeping track of, I mean, it's quite a bit. So we see a big increase in the amount of time people are spending on product pages. I can show you a demo after this, and you can take a look at what the mobile experience is like, and it's pretty seamless. It's a lot better than sort of the 360 spin thing. You can zoom in and zoom out, and really increases engagement. Go ahead. The data entry in terms of, okay, so yeah, great question. So mounting right now is a difficult, that's the least automated step. So we get a product in, we have to put it in a place and capture all this data about it. That's probably the most difficult thing right now. The actual capturing process is very automated. We have different ways that we can scale it. There's a little bit of human work that has to happen in cleaning up models depending upon the material. It depends upon the scanning technology you use. So there's some that have limitations and some that don't.
One more question?
Same question. Anybody else? Right here. Yeah, exactly. So what we're doing, part of what we're doing is providing this analytic data set back to our clients. And yeah, so the results are awesome. Every time you add another image to a product page, every time you add a video, you see increasing ROI on what you're putting out there.
Prizmiq.